Hi and good afternoon. Yes, the court proceedings have just adjourned, and it seems it was a very, very, very emotional day for the Steenkamp family. SABC News did speak to June Steenkamp as she left, and she said it's been a very exhausting day for the family. We also spoke to Barry Steenkamp, who said they are drained by today's proceedings, but of course they have to be here, to honor the memory of their daughter and see that, justice is preserved in this matter. But to unpack the case more for us, I am joined by a legal expert, and that is Tiaan Uber. Now, Tiaan, Kim's testimony, just unpack the significance of it.
It's very important for the state in aggravating circumstances. Kim's testimony, she's close to Riva. She shows that Riva was a human being, a person with a family, and how a death affected the family, the father's health. Further went on to show that Riva also maintained a family, and now this support has fallen away.
Okay. Now, of course, after Advocate Gerrie Nel leads the evidence, Advocate Barry Roux will start cross-examinations. Do you think he's going to be harsh on her, or is he going to be lenient just to show how sorry, the side of the defense and Oscar Pistorius is?
Well, at a tactical viewpoint, he has to keep the sympathy of the court. So being harsh on Kim, I don't think that would be such a good idea. And he already indicated he's only going to ask her 2 questions. So I think the cross-examination will be short if it is cross-examination.
Right. Now, also, one point that stood very clear in court is the fact that Riva was the breadwinner of her family. And now that, that financial aid that they used to get is gone permanently.
That is correct. That has fallen away now. The family has indicated that they are considering on bringing a civil claim against him. So I don't know how far the maintenance falling away will bring it in regards to punishment.
Okay. Another highlight from Kim's testimony, she noted that the first time she met the Paralympian, that there was no chemistry between him and the deceased.
That is so. It even went further. It indicated that there might have been an abusive relationship, especially coming from Oscar. So, yes, that will bring it far in regards to aggravating circumstances.
And of course, the emotions that were kept in court. We saw Barry Steenkamp crying, and then June Steenkamp started crying, and also the emotional testimony from Kim herself. All of that. What's the impact of the outcome of this case?
Well, the judge is supposed to stay objective, but it goes in the sense that the victims also needs to be taken into consideration, and the victims here are the family of Riva Steenkamp.
And we've heard that repeatedly throughout the sentencing procedures, that the people who actually suffered the greatest loss are the Steenkamps.
That could be so.
All right. Now, of course, let's go to earlier this morning with the testimony of probation officer Annette Vergeer. What do you make of her testimony? She, of course, was torn apart by Advocate Nel, but you have a different sentiments.
I think she was a strong witness. She kept to her point. She did acknowledge the fact that a part of her opinion is based on an outdated opinion by Paulsma, but still, she kept to her point. The prosecution tried to goad her into his view, and she stood by her point.
Right. So you do not believe that Advocate Gerrie Nel succeeded in discrediting her testimony?
Not the whole of her testimony. She had a very well-formulated opinion and well-structured opinion which she wrote down, and she kept to that. So he knew he had to discredit her as much as possible.
Right. Now, let's go back to Kim's testimony. Just in closing, tomorrow, of course, she's expected to continue with her testimony. What stood out for you, and what can we expect tomorrow?
Well, it was basically the emotional impact it had on the family.
Right. And of course, that being our legal expert here at the North Gauteng High Court at the Oscar Pistorius murder trial, that is Tiaan Uber. And we will be back tomorrow again, and Advocate Gerrie Nel is expected to continue with leading the evidence in Kim Martin's testimony. Thereafter, of course, Advocate Barry Roux will take over in cross-examinations.
Thank you, Patricia. There's SABC's Patricia Visagie there with legal expert Tian Yobert from the North Gauteng High Court. Sentencing proceedings will resume tomorrow morning for day 4. Moving on to other news now. Kim Martin, a cousin of Reeva Steenkamp, has described the importance of Reeva to the entire Steenkamp family and their friends. She's the first state witness to give testimony for aggravation of sentence. The proceedings had to be adjourned as Martin couldn't control her emotions while recalling the moment when she heard that Pistorius had shot and killed his girlfriend Reeva. The Paralympic athlete was found guilty of culpable homicide and could face a jail term or correctional supervision for the death of Steenkamp.
Before we carry on, this whole incident, so what impact did it have on the family? And we can see what impact it still has on you, but on the family, on Barry and June.
It's terrible. It's I'd say it's ruined our whole family. It's ruined Uncle Barry and Auntie June. Reeva was everything to them. You know, she was the only child in PE for a long time, and they absolutely adored her. They were so proud of her, what she had accomplished, and she looked after them so well. You know, not just financially. Reeva that's why I was so worried about facing them, because I didn't know how they were going to cope. I didn't think they'd be able to cope with knowing that Reeva wasn't there.